Loving Sairam, Sister Seema Dewan, the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council of Trinidad and Tobago lovingly welcomes you to the series Awake, Unite and Inspire. We are extremely blessed, fortunate and honored through Swami's grace and blessings to have you as our guest on this evening's program. So welcome. Sister Seema, when the request was made to do this interview on Awake, Unite and Inspire, Swami gave you not only the approval, but he also provided the date and time.
Thank you so much, Brother Faiz. This is an absolute honor for me to be with you. Um, Everything that happens, I think, in each one's life happens with Swami's grace. I guess Swami has given me a little more awareness right now to be able to connect with him for every small thing that I do in my life. So it's an absolute honor for me to be on your show, and I know this is definitely Swami's will. This is an absolutely a wonderful day for us to have a satsang with each other. I cannot even imagine a more blessed day than this, than to speak of the glory of God together and laugh together and cry together, remembering all our past experiences. So I really thank you for this opportunity. And I send my namaskar and my love out to all in Trinidad and Tobago who are listening and anywhere in the world. I'm so happy to be amongst all of you. Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dearest Bhagwan, I thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be with Brother Faiz together today. I really feel that honored by that your grace is with us, and that at every point of our conversation, your presence is going to be certain with us. Thank you, Bhagwan. I offer myself, my gratitude, and my heart at your holy lotus feet.
Swami places a lot of emphasis on the role of women in creating a value-based society. In fact, he has said women are stronger than men. They have more powers than men. They lead men back on the dharmic path. And when you look at Swami's mission, the very first university that he started was the Anandapur Girls' College, because of the role that women play. On the laps of mothers lie the future of the nation, he says. And before I ask you this question, I just want to quote what he has said in one of his many beautiful discourses on women. He said once, in this infinite universe, among the myriads of living beings, human is eminent. Among human beings, it is a privilege to be born a woman. Then he said, a woman is the goddess of Nitya, Gayatri, which enshrines the essence of the Veda, is a goddess venerated as Veda Mata, the mother of the Vedas. It is obvious that feminine birth is estimable, adorable, and sublime. And then he says, the scriptures declare that men only have 3 powers, whereas women have 5. Women are ready to sacrifice their life for their husbands. Therefore, men must treat women with respect, so they will be respected in return. In devotion, woman first enters the spiritual part and then slowly the man. In spiritual part also, the woman is a head. Man may have wisdom, but the devotion is prominent in woman. And finally, the honor and glory of a country is held in the hands of women. The strength of the entire social fabric rests upon her. Now, looking at your life, where Swami told you, take care of the children, because as you rightly said, everything starts in the home. And I know you know this very beautiful, frequently used saying of Swami: if there's righteousness in the heart, there'll be beauty in the character. If there's beauty in the character, there'll be harmony in the home. If there's harmony in the home, there'll be order in the nation. When there's order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. And there's a Christian hymn that says, if there be peace in the world, let it begin with me. So, can you share from your own personal experience and the different roles that you have played in this incarnation so far as a woman, how important it is for women to live up to these ideals and these values that will make a society a little bit more loving, a little bit more kind, a little bit more value based? The role of women.
A woman has, like Swami said, sacrifice, and sacrifice starts with deep understanding. For me, a woman has a deep understanding of not only life and duty, but also the people she deals with. So from that, her understanding becomes very deep. Her level of sacrifice comes not because she's sacrificing anything. I've never felt I've sacrificed anything for my father, mother, brother, sister, for my husband, for my children. I felt I just had a deeper understanding of them. And that's how I was able to guide them and love them. And so a woman's role starts definitely as a daughter in the home first. Loving her parents, taking care of her parents, understanding her parents, not judging her parents. Parents are often not perfect, right? But neither are we, correct? So as children, we learn at an early age, especially a girl learns to be loyal to her parents. She stands by her parents, no matter how they are, and she also makes sure that she's there always for all their difficulties. So I think it starts, a woman's role starts very early in life as a daughter, as a perfect daughter. And Swami says a perfect daughter is loving your parents unconditionally. And then her role comes, she gets friends in her lives, and she has teachers in her life where she loves. I have a second grade teacher, that Mrs. Concesio, that I just connected with her. Would you believe? She was a teacher that when I was so young, that took me under her fold, took me into elocutions and dramatics, and made me an all-rounder in school. Took me out of the shell of being shy. So I remember her even now. And I write texts to her. I rarely write texts, but I write to her texts of gratitude. That thank you for what you did, because of what you did in my life, and because of the way you taught me in that one class, I was able to meet God and live His principles in our life. I was fortunate to be born in a home where my mom was a very staunch devotee of Swami, a woman of very high character, very strong, very loving, very duty bound, and very truthful. She showed me the role of a woman a lot. She's been my example until now. She's 85 years old and still is my rock and my pillar. And then I learned a lot from my father. I learned kindness and compassion. He was almost, I would call him my saintly father, because it felt like a love of 1,000 grandmothers were in this man, who would stand on me if I am sick, and would, even before my mother could get food, he would run and say, are you hungry, and get this. So I came from a very, very strong, stable family, very secure family. And so I learned, fortunately for me, I learned the characteristics of being truthful and strong and charactered, but at the same time being soft and loving and understanding. And then I had lovely siblings too. I had my brother, an older sister and brother, who were exemplary to me too, who loved me. And each one of them put in a little bit of the woman you become, you know. And then, of course, marriage plays a very important role. And I was very, very blessed to have a life partner who holds my hand and walks towards God every single second. I am telling you, there is no husband that could have walked this journey as he has walked this journey with me without asking any questions, with complete faith. So he has taught me a lot of how to be a best friend. And then, of course, my children. So I think a woman's role starts very, very young. And it's extremely important for a woman, once she becomes a wife and a mother, to realize that this is almost the responsibility of that. Swami says, I'm 1,000,000 mothers, he told me. We have to at least have the strength to be one mother. You know, I don't know if we have the strength to be 1,000 mothers, but if we have the strength to be a good one mother, if we can, each of us can change the lives of our kids and give them that strength and security. Automatically, Swami said, from the home to the community, to the city, to the country, to the world, it'll spread. We have our own responsibility of being good, of being strong, of being charactered, because children learn mostly from example. And I think Swami told me also in the interview, he said, don't think that the role of a mother is just to give food and give them gifts and give them hugs and kisses. That's not your role only. Your role is very, very important. He said, first, you have to watch your own mind. You have to make sure that your mind is married to me. He said, then after that, you have to make sure that you don't let them slip even for a second. If you see even the slightest weakness that is dawning on them, he said, go and explain to them nicely. Why were you thinking like that? What was the seed of thought that it came out this way? However sad they feel, they will understand you one day. So I took that to heart very strongly, very, very strongly. And I'm telling you, I was in stores, in malls, sitting on the floors with them. If I saw a little discussion between them that lacked slight purity, a slight selfishness, a slight high-handedness, a slight amount of pride that had come in them, jealousy, a slight amount of envy that had come into them, I had to stop all my work. And if I have to talk to them for 1 hour, I have to talk to them for 1 hour in the middle of a mall, sitting cross legs on the floor. I was doing that while people looked at me very strangely. But until they didn't get the realization, and as children, they come up with very smart answers too, in order to cover up what they have to say. And I have to take out those smartness and keep flipping their heart. And I used to keep telling them, do you love yourself when you're talking like that? Do you like yourself when you talk like that? Are you doing this for my sake? Or do you have to be good for your own sake? So a lot of the teachings came. These are simple teachings that came while doing your routine. For example, I still remember this one incident. I think they'll never forget it either, where once they both came and lied to me. And I had a picture of Swami. Yeah, I had asked them to study in the kitchen and not talk to them at all, not talk to each other at all. But when I came down, they were blabbering with each other. So I said, were you talking? No. They said, no. I said, but what was I hearing? He said, you weren't talking. I said, okay, so you're lying. So I got a tape and there was a picture of Swami there. I said, I want you to take this tape and put it on Swami's eyes. And they said, we are not going to do it. I said, because you're saying that that picture is a picture, it's blind and it's not seeing you. God was there with you while you're speaking the untruth, yes or no? So they had to go that day. That was their punishment that day, that they had to blindfold Swami and do their whole homework. And they didn't like it at all because they kept looking at Swami's picture. I said, but that's equivalent. When you lie, you have blindfolded God's eye. You're saying God is not watching me. God is not watching me at all. Number one was if it's their lesson. I said, number two, you're telling me that that's only a picture. That's not Swami there in that picture, because you could easily tell me this. And so they were very, very sad. At 9 o'clock in the night, they both came crying. Can we take off the band-aid? I said, will you promise me that this is not, you will understand that this is not a picture of Bhagwan, that you are watching Bhagwan, that Bhagwan is watching over you. And telling these, what you call are fibs or small lies, they are untruths. And what is Swami's name? They used to say Sathya. Are you following the essence of his name now? So they learned that lesson. So they would, after that, it had become very tough for them to lie. Because every time they would lie, they had to think of that blindfold that they had. Oh, God is watching over me. God is not blindfolded. So lessons like this, where you but then once you do that, you have to make sure you have to give a lot of love to. And a mother is a fountain of love. When she does these things, when you do these things to correct the child, it really hurts a mother like mad. I mean, you know that as a parent, as it really hurts. But if you look at the larger picture and you say, I'm making them walk towards God, and I have to offer them to God, because Baba told me, will make them in such a way that at any time when I ask for them, they are mine. He told me every interview would say, these three are mine. They don't belong to you. They are mine. Say it to me. And I used to say, they are yours, Swami. No, you're saying it just like that. You have to say from the inside of your heart. And I used to say, Swami, they belong to you. No, you are very attached to them. You're not giving them. Then he told me, he said, their character should be so good that I can ask for them at any time for my work. They should be ready. You are in charge of that. Make sure they are ready when I ask for them. So when God has given you that mission and work, my eyes are very focused on them to make sure. I always tell them, I said, Swami can take you for his mission at any time. When he takes you, there should not be a speck of dirt on your character. It should be blemishless. That's the only time you'll be able to do his work without feeling the thought that I'm doing something for Swami. Even that thought should not cross you.
And Sister Seema, for you to have achieved that, there had to be so much of inner connection and evolving and growing within you as the mother to be the example that you wanted them to become. So what Swami was actually doing was two-way, because in order for them to be ready to do his work, and you being entrusted with that responsibility, you now had to live the message, be the change, walk the talk.
Yes, through the entire books, Living in the Presence of God, Sai Darshan, these were kids that would come and sit cross legs next to me, and they would pretend to write messages too. God is good. They would write in their small scribbly handwriting. And if once asked a question to the other, they say, quiet, Mommy's talking to God. Don't talk. So all these books, these guys have trailed around with me. And it's not that I sat in a Himalayan mountain and received any of these. While cooking, I have washed my hands and said, get me a piece of paper quickly. And there is curry powder stain on that paper while I'm writing. And it has become wet. And I've kept. So it's been quite a journey, because at any time, in any place, he can appear before you. It doesn't matter whether you're tired, whether you've had a long day. You can't tell God that I've had a long day. No, that's not. It's not. He can make you do the any task at 10 o'clock in the night if he wants you to do it.
Yes, yes, yes.
You
So,
have to be.
Sister Seema, when Swami transitioned from the physical into the formless, did that affect you in any way based on the relationship that you had with him, the inner side?
Well, I think it was Thursday. On the Thursday, I remember I was vacuuming my house by his chair, and he appeared in the chair and said, you know how you have a government over here? My government is also calling me. I'm the head of the government. I remember that. And I sat next to him and I said, Swami, are you going to be leaving? He said, yeah, only in the body. He said, make sure you tell the children I'm not gone anywhere. I'm always there. And then when I came to know on Saturday, I think it was Mr. Ted Henry who called me at 1 o'clock in the night. It was 1 o'clock our time, and I had his gown, Swami's gown that he had given me. I had laid it down on my bed with me, and I was putting his arm in both my hands and saying, "Don't leave, Swami. Don't leave. We need you. Don't leave still." There's the children will cry. How, these trips to Pati mean so much. So many people need you, Swami. And then when I came to know, and when I got the phone call at 1 o'clock, I got up and I didn't know how to react. I really didn't know how to react. I said, okay, Swami, so you're no more in the body. So now what should I do? And he said, you go down and you will type a message I will give you, and write that message out and send it to everybody. And you have no time right now. And he gave several messages during that period to uplift. So, I was there till 4 o'clock in the morning. I remember I wrote the message and I told my husband, we have to tell the children. And of course, they were like, they were devastated, absolutely devastated. And so to make them feel better, we took them to the Shirdi temple that day, did Abhishek there, spent the whole day there. But for me, I was telling the children right now also, I had no grievance period. I didn't know what to grieve. But I did know that my grievance was my kids won't see the Pathi anymore with him walking around and being there. And they were crying and saying, Mommy, you can see him, but we can't. For us, he's gone, So that my grieving was for that, but there was no change for me. My messages continued, my day-to-day continued, and I knew he was there. Actually, that only part of the body, even the samadhi and stuff was put in, but I knew that he's there. Even this time, I can tell you, when we went to do this Divya Katha of Swami, we went to sing the Divya Katha of Swami. This is a wonderful incident that happened that shows how much Swami is in Pathi. So while we were sitting there, I was narrating, correct? And I was reading from my iPad. And I'm not very technology friendly at all. I'm terrible. And Swami's asked me to keep away from it. So I do keep away from it. He doesn't like, for some reason, don't go into technology, stay away from it. So only when I have to type messages or do things, I do that. So my hand hit something while the Divya Katha was going on. And the print became smaller than an ant. Now, I had got a written book also, along with a pair of my glasses, right? There was a girl, very sweet girl sitting next to me. Sai Shruti was sitting next to me. She's Sai Manikam's daughter. And she was playing the harmonium. And I thought she's a young adult, so she'll know. So I started putting my iPad towards her and I'm telling her, but it is small. And she cannot understand me, poor thing, because she's very far. So she's playing the harmonium and keeping on looking at me and shrugging her shoulder like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I'm keeping on saying, print is small. So now my husband is talking. There is a song and it's mine. And I'm looking at his, he was sitting on the chair. I could see him sitting on the chair there. And I'm telling him, I cannot see. I have to put glasses on. And I don't want to put glasses on in this. I said, give me my vision, Swami. Give me my vision. Give me vision, give me vision, give me vision, give me vision. And I'm saying, or correct this, give me vision, give me vision. And all of a sudden, I picked up the paper that I couldn't read without my glasses. I needed my glasses. I had 20/40 vision. I could read. I could read. So if you see me in the video, you'll see the video. You'll see me with an iPad. And then you'll suddenly see me with an orange color book. And you'll see a pair of glasses on the side also. And I didn't use those glasses. I had crystal clear vision. So I thought to myself, wow. So I looked at him over there. He's sitting on the chair. I said, thanks, buddy. Very close to my thanks, bud. You saved me at the right time. Here now I can read. I said I didn't want to wear glasses. I was so stupid. So I read the whole thing and I went and told my husband, and my husband said, oh, wow, you read without the glasses, because he's an ophthalmologist. He's an eye surgeon. He's the one who checks my eyes. He said, wow, that's pretty darn good. I said, yeah, I could read the whole thing. And then when I came back, I thought, okay, now that I'm back, my vision will be back and will be the same. So I put on my glasses. He came and checked me. I've got 20/20 vision right now with no glasses. And I told Swami, I said, Swami, why did I ask you, give me vision, give me vision? I could have asked you so many things now that you were there. Now that I look back at it, I said, I should have asked a bunch of things, not one thing. I had no idea. So he returned my vision from 20/40 reading glasses and to 20/20 back. There are 3-4 lines that I couldn't read that I'm back reading.
Sister Seema, so much love and compassion of Mother Sai come into your rescue.
Huh?
It's so much of love and compassion of Mother Sai come to your rescue. And Swami left the physical form on my birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that, really.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, one of his students, Sri Ajneesh, the bhajan singer, he was at our home. And I was celebrating my birthday, and he and his wife Meghna had come. And when we heard the news, he called a friend in Puttaparthi. And when we found out, we all were so devastated and we cried. And then I was angry with Swami. I said, Swami, why did you have to leave on my birthday?
No, but that's a wonderful day. He didn't leave on your birthday.
Yeah.
He became accessible to it. He became supreme consciousness.
Yes.
Do you know that your sadhana probably will be stronger now than it was before 2011?
And that is so true, because now when I see what happens leading up to the 24th and on the 24th, I am humbled. I said, Swami, thank you.
He also took birth on that day, but he took birth for everybody.
Yes.
He took birth for each and every one of us. Swami doesn't have any day of leaving. He doesn't even say, he feels like laughing even at the 23rd of November. He never thought of it. Although there is a funny incident for the 23rd of November. We were one day in an interview with Swami, and he used to love to. My relationship with Swami was almost like very good friends, joking, laughing, and pulling. I would pull Swami's leg, and Swami would pull my leg, right? So he knew that one thing I don't like is to come for birthday, right? And because I don't like the crowds. I don't like, I used to always go when the function is over. If Guru Purnima is over, I'll go the next day, because I just didn't like to go through large crowds. So in the interview, he said, he smiled at me naughtily and he said, come for someone's birthday. So my head is God knows where. So I said, Swami, the children's birthday? He said, no. So I said, oh, because it's so far in my mind about his birthday that I'll never go. It never came. So I said, my husband's birthday, Swami? He said, no. It became a little bit stronger. And then I said, whose birthday? And then I said, mine? I questioned. He gave me one on the head. He said, no. Because I said, now imagine the audacity. It is so back in my mind that, first of all, he doesn't have a birthday, and secondly, I'll never go for his birthday. I said, then whose birthday? He said, someone's birthday. And then he started talking something else. Then when we came out of the room, these two 7-year-olds, they tell me, Mommy, Swami was telling to come for his birthday. I said, oh, I never thought of that. But when I said mine, he said, the way he looked at me with such disgust, that how can you even think about yourself? Swami is so sweet. Even when he talks in that manner, he's adorable. You want to hug him.
Amazing, amazing. So, Sister Seema, just two more questions. When I listened to that last interview and the way that you communicated with Swami when Swami told you to tell your husband that you speak to God. Please share that part of the interview with us, please. It was so interesting and intriguing.
Okay, I'll do that. So we went for an interview, and I was sitting in the front with just by Swami, and my husband was a little bit behind me, and the children were next to me, and I was looking at Swami, and Swami looked at my husband in a very naughty way and said, she sees me all the time. So I was sitting like this in the front, and I said, did I hear that right? Because I know that he would not say something like that. So I looked at him, and he said, she sees me all the time. And Swami's voice is very soft and wispy. So I'm telling him, not a good time. And I'm doing all. So he gives a wide smile like that, because these people who are behind cannot see what I'm doing, right? So he gives a wide smile. So tell. So I said, sorry. I'm like, no, don't. I'm telling very softly, don't tell him. I went. So he looks at me and he smiles and he says, all the time she sees me, whole day, every day. Tell him. Again, very. So I said, then I started laughing, but I said, now he's not listening to me. What do I do? Change the topic. I'm saying, oh my gosh, Swami, please change the topic. This is and my heart was beating hard. I was like, what do you mean she sees me all the time? What am I going to tell him, Swami? I'm going to leave the interview room and you're going to just sit over here. I have to go and take care of this marriage now and tell him this. So then he smiles again and he looks at my husband. Tell him it's a little bit stronger. Now he's guru, he's coming as guru form. So I just look back and I just whisper like that, and I look back and I'm telling him, enough. I said it to him. Tell him. As I told, tell him loudly. I said, okay. I said, I see Swami. And my husband is just looking at my face, is so, pathetic looking. He's like, why is she in such a pathetic shape? And I'm mumbling, poor guy is not understanding anything. And he's looking at Swami, and Swami's words can mean so many things also. She sees me all the time. And he never thought literally she sees me all the time, because I used to keep telling him my sixth sense is telling me that you should not drive today, and my sixth sense, and he got used to this. He used to say, your sixth sense is fantastic. I'm like, it's really accurate. So now he was like, my husband was looking very puzzled. Then Swami said loudly, tell him. Why? Tell him now. I said, I see Swami all the time. And, I said, oh my gosh. And I looked this way and I said, now you've put me in so much trouble. Thanks a lot. I thought, I'm more free with Swami than my husband at that time. I'm telling him inside, thanks a lot for putting me in trouble like this. And then that was it. Then when we left the interview room, my husband said, what is this? You speak to Swami? What was he saying? I said, yeah. He said, so it's not your sixth sense. What? I said, well, since I'm a little child, I've had communion with God. I can feel the energy of God. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. I said, well, I didn't want you to think I'm some nut that you're marrying, you know. So, but that was a very tough. I mean, I started sweating bullets literally when he was telling me, because we were very newly married and I just didn't think he would like take this well. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, so wonderful. Oh my God. Swami is like the little, the little naughty Krishna.
He is absolutely, absolutely. There's one thing I'll tell you shortly, and then probably we can close up. Was very similar. My husband was sitting in the veranda. We had come, and maybe 2 days had passed, and he had passed me and not at all, glanced or ignored. And I'm a very spoiled brat where Swami is concerned. If he doesn't look, I stomp and I cry and I say, how can you not look? I want your love. Okay. So I'm very demanding child, I guess. So 2 days had passed. And so the third day, when he didn't look in the morning, that afternoon darshan, I said, that's it. I'm not going for darshan. I'm going to the Shiva temple, because I used to like the Shiva temple there in Part3 where he's born. And I used to have a good rapport with that Lord Shiva there. So I went there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the priest was there, poor guy, and he said, I'm closing up the temple right now. He knew me really well. I said, okay, close up the temple and lock me in the temple and go. It's okay. He said, lock you in the temple. I'm going to come at 4 o'clock. I said, it's okay. I'm with my buddy here. You just go. I'll be fine. So I was sitting and complaining to Lord Shiva, Lord. I said, that being you have sent that you say is you, he's very, very naughty. He's not looking at me at all. I'm going to come here only. I enjoy the darshan here. And I was pouring my heart out over there and talking to Lord Shiva. Now my husband is sitting in the veranda there, and Swami comes out of the veranda and he says to him, while I'm in the temple, is your wife with you? He came and asked. Yes, Swami, she's sitting, I think, that side. And he pointed out that side. And Swami did. And went away inside. Again, 15 minutes later, he came out. A little bit louder. Is your wife with you? Said, Swami, she's come, I think, for darshan. She's sitting over there, Swami. He went away again. And then there was silence. Then a half hour later, he comes with his finger like that at my husband. I was like, I don't know what is happening here. What did I do? Is your wife with you? He said. I said, Swami, I don't know. He said, she's not with you. She's with me. I was with Lord Shiva there, talking to him, telling him, see how he is. 3 days have passed and he has not. So I'm just telling you that how he made that you can be the temple. She's not with you. She's with me.
That's amazing. A real wonderful, wonderful experience. Showing that he is, all names are his and all forms are his. Yes.
Exactly.
So, Sister Seema, the final question, and which most of the speakers that I asked this question to, they say this is like $1 million question. I don't know why they say that.
I haven't seen any, so thank God I don't know the question. I hope I don't say that to you.
But,
Okay.
it's a simple question. Let's say somebody comes at your home and say to you, Sister Seema, when I look around in the world today, there's so much of chaos. There's disrespect with parents and children. There are national wars. We have the pandemic that has killed so many people. There's economic disasters. People are living on the streets. There is poverty everywhere, you know, and there's so much that the world is lacking a lot of love and unity. What can I do as an individual to make the world a little bit more loving, a little bit more kind, a little bit more unified, a little bit more peaceful? What can I do to achieve that? What would you share with that person?
It's a beautiful question, and Swami has answered that in so many times when I've asked him this. Swami says everything begins with the self. It doesn't begin even with the home. It begins with the self. If each one of us are able to take our own responsibility, and I'm not talking about responsibility of having a home and eating and sleeping, how you are as a human being, your entire character, how you are with yourself first, and how you are with every human being next. Baba says, if you get angry, if you hurt others, if you are doing wrong things, it's definitely because you are already abusing your own self. And because you're abusing your own self, you're so used to abusing your own self, you don't find it a big deal to be a little bit abusive to someone else or to be a little bit away from the center. Swami says even a fraction from the center is abusive. That's what Swami calls it. We call abuse when we see it in terms of law, right? But Swami says, even if you move a millimeter from the center of yourself, you have been mean to your own self. Baba said, when you do that, the vibrations in yourself changes. You are slightly, tiny bit angry at yourself without you even knowing it. You're not aware of it. You're not liking yourself. When you don't like yourself, Swami said, you somehow take, even though you've thrown a pebble at yourself, you take a little bit bigger pebble and throw it at someone else. So Swami says, if you take your own responsibility at all times, if you tell yourself, do I like myself? Do I like what I think? Am I true to myself? Am I sincere with myself? Am I really doing things that are 100% right? Do I have 100% faith in God? Do I really love the God inside of me? If each of these questions that you keep answering, and these questions you have to ask yourself not at the end of the day to reflect. Swami said no reflection in the night and no reflection in the early in the morning. Every second, Swami is told, you have to reflect. When you spoke this, suppose sometimes I'll say something to someone, he'll say, liar, 99% true, 1% not right. He tells me that. I know that as a fact also, and I tell him, yes, Swami, so sorry. He said, where did the 1% go? You didn't give it to me properly. That person doesn't know, but inside you know. So if each one takes that responsibility, then automatically the home will become a heaven, right? Home will become a heaven because each one is taking their own responsibility. And of course, the responsibility of the parents are the greatest in the home. But while the parents are teaching the children to respect them, they have to respect the children too. The children deserve respect not when they have attained things in life, not when they have become doctors, engineers, and lawyers. No. When they open their eyes and you hold them in the arms, that's when you also need to respect the child. You need to respect the child at every second. And when the child knows you are respecting them, they will automatically respect you. So it all starts with the self and then the closest person you're with. To think of service, like Swami says, oh, I did Narayan Seva and came and fed 100 people. I did 300 bhajans today. Swami doesn't like those numbers. He says, what? You come and tell me I have done 300 bhajans and 100. You remember the number? How useless, how much must be your devotion in that? Correct? Huh? I read the whole book in 7 days. I did all of this. These are good discipline sadhanas. But are they sadhanas that transform you? Definitely not. Transformation occurs when you are able to witness your own movement in yourself. How am I treating my true self? How am I moving away from it? When am I moving close to it? When am I merging with it? Swami said closeness is not simply enough, right? I am close to you, Swami. I'm close to you, Swami. Swami said that hurts me. Mother likes oneness with the child, not closeness to the child, right? So we have to be one with our true self inside. Doing projects and all of these seva projects are wonderful. They help the mind to get disciplined. They help the mind to think good thoughts. They help the restlessness to come down. But are you free of that? Definitely not. It will come back the next day after the service project. It will. But if you're watching yourself at every second of the day, and you're saying, am I being sincere? Am I merging with the God in me? Am I in mergence? Am I in union with God? That's when your true character, your characteristics will come out exactly according to the union. You will express God's energy from inside of you. It will come out pure. And guess when things come out pure from within you, who is the one that is going to receive that first? Your environment. The environment you're in, the closest people. It's like holding the prasadam. Swami said prasadam is prasadam only after it's distributed, right? If you hold the prasadam to yourself and don't distribute it, is prasadam any fun? No. Prasadam becomes prasadam because you took part of the piece and distributed your piece to everybody. Prasadam is nothing but the bliss of God. We take it as food and we eat it and become fat. That's not real prasadam. Prasadam means God. When God ingests something, we are receiving his bliss, his energy in that food. When we ingest it, we receive the bliss of peace. But what is that bliss of peace? Is it important just to take the prasadam and spread it? No. After you have spread the prasadam, the ingestion, that what you ingested and what energy you created, now you have to go and spread that energy to each and every being. Okay. So service it comes by hands later, but it comes from the essence of love first. Are you in love with your true self? Are you in love with your God self? Every second of your moment. If the answer is yes, then you're already doing what you need to do in life. You are already doing it. Everything else is but actions. Narayan Seva, bhajans, going to the old age homes, doing all those things they are just like a reaction to your being in love with yourself at every moment. So if someone comes and asks me, what is the seva you do? I will not have an answer. I don't know what to say. What is seva? Seva is giving to somebody. Can you give to somebody when you are drowning in God all the time? Who is giving that? God is giving it. So you're just God's energy that's moving towards that Narayan Seva. Your just hands are receiving that energy from the center of your being. And you're giving that energy is receiving that food. It is simply as simple as that. There is the biggest responsibility each one of us has is to deeply look if what we are being are we being true to who we are? When I asked Swami once this question, he was talking about the mind and how minds are like ripples and waves of the ocean, and how one has to ride that but not be affected by it. And then he said to me, uh, you know you have to put your effort constantly at 100% without being aware of your effort, he said. So I said, okay, Swami. I said, Swami, how do we know that our effort is true from the time? He said, you will know it by the sense of your being. He said, he told me. When your being is completely at peace, you will know that you're doing it without the realization or awareness of doing it. But if you're doing it with the awareness to see what is on the other side, what you're going to receive from the other side, then Swami said your sense of being will become to becoming something. From being, it will become. Okay, so each of us our greatest responsibility is to ourselves. It may sound very selfish to the world that okay, responsibility is on you, but I'm not talking about that self. I'm talking about the self that guides you from inside to be the best self you can ever be. If each one of us can do that, then the reactions of good deeds will automatically follow without you knowing it. You will not speak of it. You will not understand it. You will not discuss it with others. You will not find the need of it also. If you find the need of it, something is troubling you inside that has associated you with that task, with that seva project that you feel the need. Otherwise, you will just say, oh, good, everybody's got their food. You won't come back and say, I have just fed 100 people. You'll just say, does anybody need food here right now when you have come back? Your thinking is still the same. You won't come back saying, I've just fed 100 people, where's my plate? Even if somebody gives you your plate, you'll say, did you eat? That's the first thing Swami has taught me. He said, if anybody gives you food in your hands, always ask the person who's giving you food, have you eaten? Make sure they're eating with you. So see that level of love that he has, the level of understanding. And for one more thing Swami taught me, that is, I think, the most precious thing in my life that I've learned is he called everything a misunderstanding. If you have the worst thing that is happening with someone or something, you'll say, misunderstanding. He will not call anybody bad, wrong. He'll say, you just didn't have the depth of misunderstanding between each other. You can have deeper understanding. It's okay. He will never talk. And I was just telling even Swami about, Swami, there are so many deaths that occur, murders that occur. Why are these occurring in the world? And Swami said, collective karma. Swami said, when you have karma, it is bound to come back to you. But suppose the community, the city, the state, the country starts thinking in that manner, then Swami says collective karma comes to that particular place. And so even in that, those that were innocent get dissolved, but Swami said they return to me. So all these things, that's why it's very important for us to keep ourselves clean, because when we keep ourselves clean, our environment is clean. When our environment is clean, our community becomes clean. We go out at jobs, we go as teachers, we go out as doctors, we go all our jobs should reflect the essence of our, it should not be on money, on fame, on greed, on pride, on comparisons. All of these things make us lose our individuality. Our individuality is one with God. We have only one individuality, that's being one with God. So when we become different individuals, we are not happy with our own self. When you're not happy with yourself, then like that, in that story, that boy looked at only the monkeys. When I told you initially, you will look only at the monkeys. You will not say, I am happy. You won't be able to concentrate on that. All the monkeys that are around you will dance around you in the trees.
Thank you very much, Sister Seema. And so many wonderful life lessons came out of what you shared. I remember Swami saying, I don't want you to be near to me. I want you to be dear to me. So dearness is very important. And yes, being the being the example, as you said, it starts with me. And I remember Swami also saying, there can never be world transformation unless the individuals change. So and then you can't change anyone, but you can change yourself, be the change, be the light, be the love, and that will inspire goodness and nobility in others. Seema, any closing comments and remarks from the inner guidance within before we bring this wonderful, inspiring interview to an end?
Can I read something out that I have over here?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I have a story that Swami gave me, and I hope I can find it in my iPad here. Yeah, I'll talk to you about my journey in Sai. I'll speak about that and end it on that, of how my journey has been with Sai. So this is how Bhagwan gave me this. It begins that way. I was at the shore when I saw a pair of footprints that walked with me. I asked, who are you? I am God, the light of your soul. Why me? I asked. For a single moment, you placed your thought, your silence, and your ego in me, and I appeared. What am I to do? I asked. You are to be silent and walk with me until you have silenced your questions. I walked in silence, but of course, who could control the storm in my mind? I looked at the feet that walked beside mine, and the storm would silence and again return. God, I asked, I am silent, but my mind is like the waves of the ocean, sometimes up, sometimes down. Give it to me, he said. How do I do that? Call me as if you're drowning, and I alone can save you. So I did. Help me, God, let the storm silence. And all of a sudden, I felt I was carried. I was in the ocean, and the hand over my head pushed me down into the ocean. I was breathless. I was without the thought of where I was. I only knew I had to breathe. Say my name, I heard the voice say. I started to call the mother of mothers. Help me, mother. And all of a sudden, I could breathe. I was in the ocean with no body, no mind, no attachments. I was in his name, and I was alive in him. All of a sudden, my head came up, and I was in the center of the ocean. The shore was distant. All my life, I had left on that shore. Lord, I asked, I need to go back, for the world and my attachments await. Wait, he said, I will one day, but for now, stay in the ocean. I felt myself dive deep again in the ocean. You would think this ocean would be dark, but it was not. It was brilliant. And the angels of God swam and took me to the home of God. What can I say? There was bliss, peace, truth, and immense love. I forgot myself. I only remembered the feet that walked with me and the hand that placed me within the ocean. I lived in the joy of his inner guidance. I chose a life of faith. He spoke in my soul, and my soul spoke to the world and shared with them my bliss. I wanted the world that I left on the shore to be in this heaven where God alone resided. For moments, I forgot who I was, where I was. It was my breath that echoed him in the old ocean. What bliss that was! And then I was awake, and I saw myself close to the shore. I was in panic. I flapped my hands to swim against the God current, but no one can. I was being taken back to the world I knew not anymore. God, I said, why do you do this? You give me yourself and then return me to the world I remember not. He smiled and said, whether in the ocean or the shore, you are to take the light of the soul that I lit and the light of the soul of many that wish to be in this ocean. Can you not do this as you did to me? Why carry me away from the bliss of silence? He said, once you have tasted the ocean, even a drop, you are mine. You will take yourself as the light that loves and will wipe the doubts of God, and will wipe the doubts of God's love in others' minds. You will calm their storm. You will carry them from the shore of the ocean. You will give them the faith of giving up their breath of attachment. You will teach them to breathe my name and sing the glory of my story. I pray that I keep myself alit and never enter the darkness of fear and doubt ever again. I thank you for the love you give me to keep my soul alit, and I hope that I'm able to give you the joy I have had by being a few moments with our Lord. The very sadhana of speaking and hearing his stories calls the Lord amidst us. Let's enjoy the love of God that he has placed in all of us, much before we knew of him, and come to live this miraculous life.
That was absolutely inspiring and soulful. Thank you so much, Sister Seema.
So much, Brother Faiz. Thank you very much.
So the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council of Trinidad and Tobago wishes to express gratitude and appreciation to you, Sister Seema Dewan, for taking the time to share your personal journey, your love, and exhorting the glories and the love and the magnificence of this wonderful avatar through your experiences with him. May Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba continue to bless and guide you, and may you continue to be the loving instrument that you are as his mission unfolds. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you so much.